What's happening, buddy? Welcome back to JGs Lounge. I'm your host, Jukebox. We've been having some technical difficulties. I tried to get the intro to go just now, and it wouldn't work. So we're just gonna roll with it tonight, and we're gonna make this show happen. My guest, who I'm very sorry to put you through all this for the last hour, Anthony Wright, man, how you doing?
Yeah, I'm doing great.
It's weird how technology is, man. I'm sure you know personally with shooting films and all the things that can go wrong.
Yeah, this is definitely not a shocker. So, know how to, just be cool and calm through it, and you just gotta kind of work through it. So, yeah, I know.
Find the comedy in the flaws, I guess.
Oh, you better. Otherwise, it's gonna be a different situation. So, yeah.
Right. So tell everybody a little bit about yourself.
Okay, yes. So, as for mentioned, yes, I am Anthony Wright, writer, director, filmmaker. Write movies, direct them, produce them, edit them, camera work often, cinematography. Also into some acting myself. So, quite a lot. I'm also an author. Published my first title back in 2012 called it's a science fiction fantasy called Legends of Fallout. I've also written, directed two stage plays as well.
Wow. That's a lot, man. That's quite a bit to be put out there. So the stage plays was before or during or after kind of like your film career.
The stage plays came first. This whole thing actually started with me being invited to perform in a stage play, but this was back in like the 2007 era. And it just kind of stuck with me since. I said, "Oh my God, this is it! Like I like this. I like performing. I like being on stage." And that's just kind of where it kicked off. Stage plays is where it began, and I started writing my own.
Did you in school, like in elementary school, middle school, high school, at any point where you're like, I'm gonna be an actor and a writer?
Oh, it's so funny you asking me that because someone did an editorial on me probably about a year ago, and they asked that question. And if anyone were to ask me about acting or performing or writing films in high school, I would have just laughed because it was not it was not there. Let's just say it was not there. And I just recall seeing like all the theater kids and and the stage performance kids and just how happy they were, dancing and doing all this crazy stuff. You would see them doing wear costumes. And to me, being the hardcore wrestling kid into WWE and all this rock music and all that, and I'm just looking at these people like, why are they so happy? Well, what is wrong? Why are they so happy? What is going on here? I thought the whole acting theater thing was just so corny in high school, but I
Right.
could not have been more wrong. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
gotta say, I never expected myself to be podcasting. I didn't even know what podcasting was till like 5 years ago. And it's crazy some of the stuff that you can do, like with technology and with videos and stuff. Like this episode by tomorrow will be on every freaking audio platform. It'll be out there on air for people to watch. And I even post this stuff on IMDb to give credit to people like you and the guests that I have on. So it's amazing. I mean, IMDb's been huge, but it was a struggle to start getting shows set up because you have to like get everything validated and approved. Is that kind of how it is with film? Do you like have to go through a bunch of steps to get that stuff on IMDb?
Yeah, IMDb, especially over the years now, have they've really like gotten strict on just getting a title put up there. I mean, it's always been kind of a pretty stringent process, but now it's verifications, like you said. It's making sure that you have the right names involved, and there's copyright and all kinds of legalities and things. There's a lot of things now that IMDb, they look at, which is good. Obviously you want to
Right.
protect the talented people, but yeah, yeah, I've now have maybe three titles on IMDb, and
Mhm.
I'm now really starting to believe it or not. After years of doing it, it's like now I'm really starting to get comfortable with using it because
Mhm.
there's so much they're asking for now.
Right, right. Yeah, I can see that. Like after you've done a couple of them, you're like, okay, I got it. I got it figured out.
Yeah.
um, let's talk about your childhood, man. Obviously, you said you weren't really into like you didn't see yourself getting into this. So, what were you thinking as a kid that you were gonna do? Like, did you have any ideas of what you wanted to be?
Well, when I was younger, when I was a kid, me and my cousins, we would pick up the camera. I remember us actually creating a film, uh, like
Hmm.
actually like picking up a camera and like writing the script and everything. And well, I think it's probably buried somewhere on the VHS tape. I wish I could probably find that thing. We'll probably have a good laugh looking at it. But
What
uh,
what's a
uh,
VHS disc getting?
yeah, you're right. You're right. If you were to ask, who was that, Gen Z or someone like that now? Yeah. But yeah, believe it or not, actually, at a young age, like it was there. The form of acting was there, but it just didn't really hit me like it did now. I have a
Mm,
cousin also. She wrote stage plays, and we were a part of that too. But I don't know. I guess it's just something that just kind of hit us, as kids. But I guess it just the calling didn't really sit until the older years, I guess.
mhm. Was there something that you saw or watched and you're like, I could do that?
No, I think it was just creativity. I think it's just yeah, I've been inspired by the films that we were seeing, the things that we
Mm,
were watching, Saturday morning shows and Saturday morning cartoons, just feeding off of that imagination and creativity and being inspired to want to do our own. And I think
yeah.
that's where a lot of it started.
Okay. So to get your foot in the door, I mean, what was the first thing that you filmed or created?
So the first movie that I actually filmed was a comedy film in 2016 by the name of Hugo's Breakfast and Lunch. It was again a comedy, a feature film actually. Didn't quite go the way I wanted it to go, but it was the first film that I had made, and we're probably looking at doing a whole reboot on that thing anyway. Uh,
Mm,
but really, there wasn't like really any like type of entry point for me getting into I guess, the industry or breaking into the filming industry. It was just a matter of just me writing, just saying, "Hey, I'm going to go ahead and do this myself, and we're just going to go ahead and take the initiative and make this happen." So,
mhm.
Yugos was my first movie, and after that, we just started building from there and just going in further and further, and now here we are.
Did you have friends or family that like helped you to kind of pursue it, or did you have to kind of find people through social media and kind of build your business from the ground up?
So I will say though, because I don't want to leave an individual out, but
Yeah.
there's a friend of mine um, who did a film. He did a film. It was a gospel movie, maybe some 10 years ago. That he really, really, really inspired me into going further into movies because I think it was right there. Yeah, it was right there at that moment, that time. That was right before I wrote Hugo's Breakfast and Lunch. It was the movie that I was in with him. And it was a very it was a very gritty type of street movie, a gospel, but
Hmm.
gospel movie, kind of a
Gotcha.
really street movie, and we were a part of that, and just learning from him and just being around him and just the guidance and the wisdom that he had. I mean, he
Right.
still has. He's still a good friend of mine, but just watching him and him showing me the ropes and even to using cameras and even to him getting me on the editors and showing me how these things work, you know, it
Yeah.
was really a lot of that. I mean, just from that individual, that really helped me to kind of get to where I am now, as far as being able to go behind the scenes as well. So
Yeah, and that's another thing that I love talking to, especially like directors and producers, is like what you do behind the scenes, beyond just directing. Like, have you been the camera crew before? Like, you've done the acting. So like, when you like get your cast, do you have like a vision of what you want from each character? And behind the scenes, are you sort of kind of guiding them, or do you just sort of let them kind of free flow?
a little bit of both.
Uh,
A little bit of both. I typically already have in mind the way I want the scene to look. And,
mhm,
before every scene, we kind of go through a run through a few days before, and I give them the direction that I'm looking for. And when we get there, when they start doing their thing, I really like for them to just kind of take ownership, and because that way they can be natural and they can also be convincing. I mean, I
mhm,
have in mind the way it's supposed to look, but it always seems to work out where I let them just kind of flow.
mhm.
I think, if you can let them flow, then you can get a real natural and honest response. So
Of course.
I definitely like to kind of let them
Mhm.
take ownership of that part, if you know what I mean.
Yeah,
But
of course.
respecting the vision, though.
Great point. So I've managed most of my career, wherever I've worked, and I think there's a fine line of respecting an individual, but still sort of wanting what you want from, and your content or whatever the task is that you need done.
Yeah.
I believe I saw Maurice Clark mentioned you to me, and I'm guessing he's probably been on some of your one of your shows or two.
Yeah, Maurice is now being in two films, and
Hmm.
now about to participate in the third film. Wonderful, wonderful talent, very talented individual, doing some major things right now. So yeah, I
Hmm.
mean, just to hear him, speak of me and
Hmm.
mention me, it's an honor.
Yeah, he's a great guy. I mean, we've been in touch since. He's actually working with me on the skit that we're doing right now called "Burn After Playing." Um, did you did you meet him through social media, or did you know him like before when you first started doing film?
I'm trying to pinpoint how we did connect because when we first connected, it was through a film that I did a few years ago called Promise Chronicles and Infestation, and he was simply coming on as, I wouldn't say he's helped out as an extra, but he's taken on a couple of key parts as well. He was a like an Israeli agent,
Hmm.
so I had him casted as that. Um, I think I think we connected. So I think it was either via social media or someone suggested him to me. I can't think of names, and I don't want to mess that up. So,
Yeah.
but
you
I do
you can
remember his
connect him
first name.
through social media and stuff. I always like to kind of hear, especially somebody that's closer to my age, and the development of technology. What are your views on social media and how it's either helped you or been not so helpful with your career?
Well, in terms of helping with social media, it's definitely a tool. It has definitely worked out as a tool for me. I mean, for any artist, if they know how to do it correctly, um, you're able to you're able to promote your material. Somebody puts out a trailer, or somebody's putting up some cover art for a film. You're able to draw people to that, and you're also able to draw like-minded people as well. So
Right.
social media definitely has its upside to it.
Hmm.
You're able to connect with other like-minded artists. It has definitely helped me throughout my career as well to be able to connect with other actors and also connect with other filmmakers as well, crew people. It's done some good things for me.
Hmm.
Um, I would probably say, I don't know, the not so good side of it is that Some people tend to misuse it, I guess, but you see that in all different types of forms and not just the entertainment industry. You know,
Right.
um,
Mhm.
so yeah, as far as social media goes, and the technology they use nowadays, I mean, if you're an artist and you're doing it well and you're utilizing it properly, it can definitely be a great tool for you, and it has been a good tool for me.
I agree. I agree. I think it's uh, trying to find the fine line between obsession and just utilizing it for the necessary convenience, like for sharing reels and clips of shows and reaching out to guests or like putting them through these shows has been very helpful. I've reached out to people through Messenger and Instagram and sometimes Twitter, which is now X, but I don't use that very much. It's typically Instagram or Facebook. um,
Yeah.
but I've definitely seen people who are lost in it, almost like they want to know how many people have checked out their stuff. They want to know if their content's good enough or not, or they're just always on their phones. And it's like, there's a world out there. So you got to realize that.
If you're not careful, yes, you can get sucked into this. And there's been so many documentaries and like there's so many series and shows been done on social media and the effects that it does have on people. And eh, for an artist, yes, it can be, it can be really easy to get sucked into social media because it's just like, I guess it's kind of like it can be an online high school sometimes if you look at it the way compared to how some people look at it, how some people see it, or how some
Right.
people perceive things. Because you're people are, they're posting their best thing, their best items. They're posting the best times of their life, and what you're not realizing is that this is what they're doing. It's just they're posting best
Yes.
times of their life. And then you find yourself comparing your bad days to their good days,
Right.
and not realizing that some of these things it's just really it's just a platform, and people just kind of tend to use this
Right.
for the reasons of being seen, I
Mhm.
guess.
Right.
So there's a lot of different things, that you have to
Right.
be mindful to look out for.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. So you mentioned Promise Chronicles, and I'm pretty sure I took a clip from your Facebook page, and I have it to share. It's about a minute if you're okay with it, and
Yeah,
we can
sure.
talk. We could talk about it afterwards.
Okay.
If I can get it to pull up here, let's see. um, here it is, and there we go. Add it to the stream here. Yes.
You listen to
It's gonna
me, Kirkwood.
work.
We have funded a lot into the Falcon's Eye. Too much, in fact, for these little incidents to slow our plans. Yes, the new direction is finally in place. But if our supporters start to lose trust, we could lose potential manpower and time to complete Nebula 46. Anton, fix this catastrophe. After all, were you not chosen to be the people's messiah? Hello? Oh, Morrison, put him on the phone right
Oh my God, he's an intense actor.
That's a good clip, man. Dive into that scene a little bit.
So that was actually a deleted scene from the movie. The actor Michael Crawley, who was portraying a very, very elite gentleman of
Mhm.
a elite society, and he's just pretty much he's pissed. He's pissed because at that moment we just had. If for anyone that's seen the movie, this transpired after the events that took place at what we call the Day of Prayer in Israel, where they were supposed to be sort of bolstering. And this, just so you know, this is a gospel movie. It's a faith-based movie, Promise Chronicles manifestation, and it's biblical, getting
Mm-hmm.
into the parts of Revelation.
Mm-hmm.
So for those who understand that it's getting into a part where uh, the gentleman, he is known as the Antichrist, and they were beginning to bolster him at Israel's day of prayer of all places, which is just really disrespectful. But they were looking to kind of push him into that plateau of, I guess, kinglyship,
Mm-hmm.
kingship, if I'm saying it right. And
Mm-hmm.
that plan just really backfired. A lot of some believers, Christian believers, kind of pushed back against it in that scene, and the whole plan just fell apart. So what happened there is you see really who's in control, and it's like that guy, the Antichrist, Kirkovich, was sitting on the couch and he's just stressed out because he was supposed to have everything in order in that scene, and again, everything just fell apart. So he's getting a butt chewing from one of the elite people, and they're telling him, dude, like, hey, man, we invested a lot into this. There's a lot of money involved. So really, nothing more happening here other than um, people are truly seeing who's really in charge.
Right.
And you would think that it would be this guy with all
Mm-hmm.
this power sitting on the couch, but he's actually answering to someone of higher authority.
Right. It's you say so it's a Christian based film. Is most of your content religious based?
Majority of them are faith-based inspirational films.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, Also, thriller, suspense. Got something like that going on right now. So
Mm-hmm. And there's more than one of the Promise Chronicles.
there's Promise Chronicles Phase One, which is showing right now on JC Plus Network. That's I guess that's more of a faith-based platform for faith-based movies. So it's a
Gotcha.
series that we're working
Gotcha.
on.
So how many do you have out right now? Just two, or you got the second one coming out?
In terms of Promise Chronicles or just films,
Yeah,
period.
Promise Chronicles. I know you got something else coming out, but is that Promise Chronicles or is that something different?
That's something totally different. But right now, there's currently two Promise Chronicles, and we'll be working on the third one shortly.
Okay. And let's talk about what you got coming up though.
Yeah, so it's kind of shifting gears to something a little bit more, I guess you would say, a little bit more eye-opening. It kind of shakes you out of that nice little comfortable bubble that you're in. The movie's
Mm-hmm.
called Counteract, and I say that because the movie focuses on the unflattering conversation of human trafficking.
Okay,
Yeah,
that's a serious topic.
yeah, it is. It is, and it's in some places it's a very taboo conversation, but it's a conversation that needs to be had. And
Yeah.
we worked on that last year. It's a feature film, and it will be releasing worldwide next month.
All
We're
right.
looking forward to that. We shot and filmed it here locally in the Kansas City area and other surrounding cities, utilizing local talents and
Mm-hmm.
local businesses as well. So we're
Mm-hmm.
really excited about the opportunity of releasing the film, not just for showcasing the talents and the opportunities given, but really to really talk about this subject because you know, I, it's hard to say it, but you just have to be real with people. Sometimes people don't like to be, the truth. People don't like, real conversations. Sometimes real is hard,
Mm-hmm.
but it's kind of like, to me, it's like, don't wait for something like this to happen to you. No, if something like this happens to your family, God forbid, now all of a
Right.
sudden you're ready to take action against something like that. I mean, it's a real issue,
Yeah.
and I'm just bringing awareness to it, definitely, hopefully it inspires more people to
Yeah.
know.
It's a very touchy subject, and I think that there's a lot to it that people don't think about. Like when you and I were kids, like I know I used to ride my bike around the neighborhood. I'd go a mile or two away. As long as I came back home when the lights, when the street lights came on, I usually was fine. But now, I've got kids, and I don't even feel comfortable with them playing out in the street, you know. And it's not just kids either. I mean, teenagers that get sucked into traveling agent jobs, whether it's like door-to-door sales that just disappear. And it is a very serious topic that today is, I feel like, more widespread than it ever has been.
Because I'm not spilling the beans at all. You know, talking about Cadillac coming up.
Yeah.
You know, in the movie, you know, what we really want to demonstrate in this movie, or I guess educate, is to people, show people how these, you know, how these predators work. You know, and nowadays, day and age with technology and all these things that they have out there that people get sucked into, you know, all the media outlets from fame, fortune, auditions, and you know, they use all these tools and things to lure victims. You know, they have a lot more at their disposal now, more than ever, to really persuade people to believe something that, you know, that is totally the opposite. And this is just really just giving awareness and showing people, you know, just how far these individuals will go to lure victims, you know, and just educating yourself and being, you know, vigilant, you know, not scared, not paranoid or nothing, but just being vigilant and watching out for certain signs and certain individuals and, you know, their actions and, uh, you know, just things that they present to you, and just, you know, it's showing people just what to look for, I guess, in terms of you know, being vigilant, I guess.
Yeah, no, it's great. I'm really excited. I didn't really know much of the details about it. I knew of it through Maurice, that it was something you were working on, but I didn't realize that was a topic. So I'm really excited to be checking that out when it comes out. So
Yes, sir, indeed. Next month, and we go ahead. I didn't want to cut you off.
No, I was actually you mentioned using a lot of like local talent and local businesses. When you're setting up these scenes, do you scout out places that you want to shoot?
Yeah, all the time, all the time. Before I choose a location, you know, every filmmaker is just good to just standard practice to scout the place out and just making sure that it's something that's going to fit your vision. It may not always be the vision that you wanted, but it might go with the budget. So, you know, if it fits with the budget, then, you know, the budget ultimately has the final say so sometimes. So, um, you know, you're looking at this place and just making sure that ultimately it works well with the vision. And then while you're scouting it, you're also seeing scenes and certain shots in your head. And um, yeah, you're just you're putting the pieces together. So yeah, scouting is important, and that's something that I definitely take seriously when I'm looking for locations.
Do you, when communicating with the businesses, do they usually kind of jump at the idea of being a part of these films, or are some of these people sort of held back on you using their locations?
It's kind of 50-50. Like you know, back in the day, it usually would be, oh my God, you want to shoot a movie in my location? Yeah, let's definitely do it. And I
Mhm.
mean, I still have that. I mean, there's still some individuals, like I've had my share of individuals that have just been like super excited, but it just seems like more these days, I guess, with just licenses and commercializing, and of course, when there's money involved, unfortunately, you know, some individuals just see that as dollar signs, and we're just being honest. So,
Yeah.
uh, yeah, and I don't know. It's definitely changed nowadays with you know, when discussing what you're wanting to do as certain as filming at a location, because you know, more they're more reserved, like you said, they're a little bit more. Some are a little bit more hesitant. They want to know what it's about. They, you
Right.
know, because they make sure that whatever they're putting their business in, they want to make sure that it's being presented professionally or correctly, or not associated with something, you know, that's detrimental to people. So, which I understand that, you know,
Yeah, of
it's a,
course.
it's more 50-50.
Makes sense. What's the let's talk about the best place that you've ever shot a scene. Is there a certain location that you just loved everything about it?
Yeah, there's. There's a lot because I think of that Promise Chronicles manifestation movie. We filmed at a lot of places. There were a lot of locations, and oh my gosh, I honestly, I'm gonna say Tonganoxie. We filmed at a barn out in Tonganoxie,
Okay.
and it was so fun. It was fun. It was raw. It was a little dirty and dusty, but that was exactly what the script, the vision called for. The host, the gentleman that allowed us to use his land. Oh man, he's a great person, great family. Hosted us really well. The hospitality was great, but just the environment. Just we had everything we needed there, and we were able to shoot like maybe 10 scenes. No, my God, no, I think we shot like 20 scenes there, like 20 scenes, and we spent 2 weekends there, 8 hours apiece, and we shot like nearly 20 scenes there. So we were really productive. Yeah, we enjoyed Tonganoxie.
That's good. Yeah, Tonganoxie's I drive through there like at least once a month. So, but yeah, Tonganoxie is a nice little town. With what you do, have there been experiences that you've had where maybe the cast wasn't what you pictured them being, and that you've kind of had to recast for certain roles?
Yeah, it's been. I haven't really, I haven't really had to cut anyone or anything like that, or release anybody from the project. Maybe once or twice where I feel like they weren't right for the part. But
Mhm.
for the most part, I've been fortunate. Not too many people can say that. I've been very, very fortunate to be able to cast people and they
Mhm.
have fit the mold. They have jumped right into it.
Mhm.
And I don't know if maybe it's just it could just be the story, the character themselves that just says, "Hey, this clicks for me. It works out." But I see some of them and I cast some of them and I say to myself, this is interesting and I'm wondering how this is going to go. And then they just turn around and kill it.
Mhm.
You know, and they make a believer out of me. So, I've never, I've never had to like actually say, you're not right for the part to people, maybe just once or twice, like I said, and that's
Mhm.
probably about it. But like I said, I've been fortunate to work with people that have not even had me. I've had not, I've had to like tell them that no, this is not going to work, or this is just not for you or anything like that. They just
Yeah.
totally they make it happen, and this has now happened now in 2 consecutive movies where I've gotten fortunate that that's happened.
See, it's great that you say that. The one thing that I've noticed, especially with the podcasting, a lot of the promotion is like when I have a guest on, I'm like, it's your show too. You have to promote it and help it grow. The biggest growth that I've seen for this network in general has been a lot of like these independent film directors, a lot of these actors and actresses that are just trying to get their name out there. They're super excited to come on. They're super excited to tell their stories and some of the projects they've done and talk to about each other and send me by the end of the show I've got like 6 more guests line up because these people are like, yeah, this was so fun, and then they're promoting the shows and the reach has just been phenomenal, and it's because of people like you and actors and actresses that come on and they just want to help everybody grow, and you can feel it. It's crazy.
Yeah, and I'm appreciative for these types of publication, even for you, for you reaching out, because what you're doing, this platform right here is helping us. It's helping independent filmmakers. On a local level.
Mhm.
It's helping bring more exposure to us. So the fact that you're even doing this, it's a blessing to a lot of people, including myself. I mean, this is it's allowing people, gives us a visual. Gives people a
Yeah.
visual of who we are and our
Mhm.
projects. And like I said, you're using your platform here to help us. So,
Mhm.
as we try to help people, not just on the acting, the behind the scenes, giving actors opportunities, we're also helping our audience as well with demonstrating our arts and film to the world. So, as we're able to do that, these types of things like what you're doing, it wouldn't be possible for us to, for people to get to know us
Right.
personally. If it wasn't for you doing what you're doing. So yeah, I definitely
Thank you.
appreciate this.
No, thank you. I appreciate that comment. That's big. It makes me feel good. Yeah, I've had people from Australia, Iceland, Greenland, Greece, you know, everything from musicians to film directors to actors to comedians, and it's an amazing way to just kind of build a community and a network, and like you said, give exposure to not just me but you guys, and it does. It feels good, and I'm sure when you finalize a project or a film and you go back and you watch it, do you get that feeling like I did that, like we did that, and kind of, or do you critique it and kind of give yourself a hard time rewatching it, like I should have done this or should have done that?
Well, that typically comes after the "oh my God, I did it" phase. You know, uh, yeah, once the film is done, I mean, there's always that part where it's like, you can relish in the fact that you did this. Yes, you completed this. We did that, and it's like a newborn child. That's what it is. It's like a newborn child being birthed into the world. And the thing is, it's the movie that you just birthed into the world. You know what I mean? So this is your creation. A lot of
Mhm,
people helped you do it, but ultimately this is your creation. And yes, we are excited about it. I am glad to see it. I'm happy to see it more. Most really happy to see that it's done. And then you
mhm,
have your movie premieres, you bring the cast and the crew in, and there's just that excitement. Everyone is happy. Oh my God, we did this. This is
mhm,
great. Thank you so much for the opportunity. And then reality hits, and they may not see it, but I'm probably not the only filmmaker. I'm sure out of like what 500,000 filmmakers, I'm not the only one that does it. You
mhm,
turn around after all the hoopla is done, all the hooting and hollering, and everybody celebrating is done. You turn that movie back on, and you watch it about maybe good 30 different times, and you're going to start seeing things that maybe that not a lot of people are seeing, and then that's when it's like, oh my God, like what did I do?
mhm,
That could be better. That could be better, and that's just how it is.
mhm.
We're our hardest critic.
Right.
We want excellence, and yeah, I mean, it starts to hit after a while. I'm proud of it, but
Mhm.
we're just gonna start nitpicking our own. That's just like it's like when a child gets older. You birth a
Yeah.
child into the world. They start getting older. They start making those mistakes. Oh, we can do this. We can do that. We can do this. I can do that. I can do better. As a parent, I can do better at this. And so that's
Yes.
just kind of yeah. That's just kind of how it goes.
Has that kind of waterfalled over into just movies that you go see like that you didn't produce, like just in the mainstream market? Like, do you go to AMC or Cinemark and watch a movie, and the whole time you're actually critiquing it rather than enjoying it?
I have not done that. I have not had to do that. I find myself doing that more on platforms like maybe Tubi or Prime Video. But no, just because they seem to have movies on point, so I've never really had had to do that. I don't critique when I get to the movies, whatever. I'm enjoying it. I love it. I just saw a movie. Another filmmaker made a series about a few weeks ago, and I loved it. I loved it. I saw what they were doing and the story behind it and everything, and that's just kind of what I want to do. I want to be able to, just I want to cheer them on. I want to support them,
Hmm.
because making films is not easy, you know. And even if it's, maybe, no matter what the budget is, maybe it wasn't perfect. Maybe you missed this, maybe you missed that. I understand, what it takes to make a film.
Hmm.
And hey, man, you got my vote. And I appreciate your hard work. So, I try not to critique or anything like that,
Hmm.
but try to show support, much support as I can, only because I know what it's like on the other side of the camera.
Right. I do this thing. So like I said, burn after playing, and it's. Have you ever watch Whose Line Is It Anyways? Or
I've heard of
are
it.
you?
I'm not a
And
watcher.
you got these comedians that come on and reenact skits, basically. So I get like this messenger group together with comedians and actors from across the US or around the world, and like get 7 or 8, and we create a short film through messenger. Like each person will get the roles. I'll say, all right, we have 3 weeks, everybody send in 4 or 5 minute skits, and then I piece them together and make films out of them. And currently we're working on something with I've got some of the actors and actresses here in our market and some actors and actresses out of the Utah market, and they're working together. These are people that never have even known they existed, and now they're working together on this project, and it feels really cool being able to kind of intermingle these two different markets.
Yeah, I think they did something here a few years ago, or I'm not sure if they still do. It's called the First 48 or something like that. I'm not sure if you ever heard
Okay.
of it.
Yeah, it sounds familiar. I can't say I know exactly what it is, but it sounds familiar.
It's I think one of the filming groups here locally they do it. I'm not sure if it's just local or if it's done in other markets too. Where I think if I'm saying this right, or if I'm not, I'm quite sure somebody will say something to me about it. But I think the first 48, I think you have like 48 hours to make and create a film.
That's impressive.
Yeah, I think it's something like that. And then you're utilizing talent, from all around the market, and you're putting together films or something like that. I think it's like a contest or a competition
That's
that they're
interesting.
doing. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't heard of it in a while, but I do remember them talking about it. I do remember them doing it.
Do you think that that's something that you could do as a director, or is produce a film in 2 days?
It has to be maybe a short film. It could. I think it could be done, but it would just take pretty much the whole day to do it.
Mm-hmm.
The whole 4 days, and I mean, you would have to come in with like a master plan of that.
And have a full crew that's like invested for that time frame.
Definitely dedicated crew, dedicated cast that's willing to go from sunrise to sundown. Maybe I don't know. Maybe all 48 hours. I'm thinking. I'm not sure.
No sleeping.
Yeah,
I'll provide the coffee.
the monster, the energy drinks, whatever it is they need.
That's good. That's good. So you got that project coming out here soon next year, Counteract. That's exciting, man.
Yeah.
I'm excited to see how it turns out. Where's that going to be released at? Where can people see it?
It'll be on streaming platforms, more than likely, like your Prime Video, platforms like Tubi, television, um, more likely like Pluto, or there's a Voodoo, Fandango. There are
How
platforms like Plex.
how do you get your content on these platforms? Like, you have to go through websites, you have to pay for it. Like, how does it work?
Well, typically you just you have to distribute them. You have to find a distributor, and they will act on your behalf, pitching to the networks your project to the networks, and that part of just trying to find the right distributor. It's almost like trying to find an agent in Hollywood. There are like so many different agents in Hollywood. There are so many different distributors, and like there are like maybe over 600 different distributors worldwide. And just like it's like a needle in a haystack. Just trying to find the right one where you get the right deal with the right person,
Right.
and just praying that you get the right person, you get the right deal, and
Yeah.
they will, yeah, and they will serve as, I guess, like the middleman between you and the platforms and networks,
Hmm.
kind of, yeah, and then you just they get a cut out of whatever you're making from the movie and everything
Right.
else. So
That's fair.
it's just finding the distribution.
Right.
Some people use film festivals, for hopeful distribution.
Right.
Some people are just able to seek one out right out.
Mhm. I know that a lot of the directors and stuff that I've had on talk about like Film Freeway and stuff like that, for like festivals and stuff, submissions and stuff like that. I do got one final question before we wrap it up, because there's one thing that I like to ask directors specifically is, what do you define as a short film versus a feature film?
Well, if I'm answering this correctly, uh, I'll just say this, and hopefully I'm answering this correctly, Jukebox. um, you know, if you're gonna make a short film, you might as well make a feature. My thoughts on that. I like short films. I do. I'm just not sure if there's much of a market for them as there would be feature films. I've seen a lot of filmmakers make create some great movies, some great short films, and
Mhm.
take pretty much up to about a year to do, and that's about the amount of time that you're spending possibly on a feature film, probably much less time, you know. Um, yeah, that's pretty much my take on it. I feel like this with feature films, and that's really what I do. I mean, on occasion, I might one day do a short film. I don't know, but I just feel like if you're gonna go out and do this thing, you might as well just go the full length. Just go all out.
Right.
You know, I would just say, you're gonna spend your time, you're gonna spend your money, you're gonna go through the hassle of getting cast and crew together. You might as well just go all the way with it.
Right. It's nobody's ever had a direct answer. Nobody like knows for sure. Like someone's like, if it's more than like 45 minutes, and then then yours is, uh you might as well just do feature versus a short. And then like, it's crazy the different like perspectives everybody has on things, and it actually is really neat to kind of hear everybody else's, because everybody's unique, and they all kind of have their own views on things. So, and for me, I'm gonna be starting my first feature film next year, at the beginning of next year, and I'm excited about that. So, now that I've got like credibility on IMDb and stuff like that, and I've got a lot more people that are interested in the platforms and the network, I want to give it a shot, and it really kind of test my creativity, because I'm gonna do it similar to these skits that I do, where I have people from all over the US kind of partner together to do it. Um, but yeah, it's people like you that have came on my platform that have inspired me to want to do it. So I do have to say thank you for that.
Well, I appreciate it, man. However
Mhm,
we can help. I mean,
mhm.
it's filmmaking, producing. I don't care what anyone says, man. You just can't jump out the bushes and try to be a producer or a director. You know,
Right.
our job. The things that we do once that camera starts rolling, man. I mean, it's a journey. It's
Hmm.
definitely a journey, and you're putting up and dealing with things that a lot of people, even your cast, would not want to deal with. So, I commend
Right.
you. I commend you.
Yeah, it takes dedication. Like, yeah, again, I've never done a feature film, but I can only imagine the dedication it takes to actually produce a full featured film.
Yeah, yeah, it definitely takes that and then some.
Uh-huh. Yeah, yeah. Have you said that there's, earlier on about the scene that we played being cut from the script. Uh, what determines that? Is it just from rewatching it and just saying, I really just don't, it just doesn't fit the way I thought it was going to?
Well, the plan was for every scene that was cut from the film to be in the film. It's just that the original version, PC2, Promise Chronicles
Mm.
Manifestation, actually checked out at 3 hours and 12 minutes.
Holy jeez.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And I did not anticipate that to happen. Of course, we didn't see that happening, but yeah, 3 hours and 12 minutes would have checked out for, and when my distributor got a hold of it, and I'm thanking God that they took a chance on my film. But when
Mm.
we did talk, which is one of the things where it's like, hey man, I know you don't want to do this, and I mean, I know this is your baby, this is your film, man, but this is Titanic runtime, so
Yeah.
we've got to do something about this. So some decisions had to be made, and
Hmm.
some films had to be cut. So some scenes had to be cut from the film, and
Hmm.
you just saw them. So
When you get these distributed on platforms like Tubi and Plex and stuff like that, do you see the algorithm as far as like how it's viewed and how often people are, or how much of it they're average watching, or does it just tell you how many people played it?
I have not been able to see that. We get like a kind of like a quarterly report
Mm-hmm.
um, on like certain like I guess you could say yeah, algorithms, but like I don't
Mm-hmm.
really like there's like no type of like dashboard or outlet where we can just consistently check and see.
Right.
People that I'm working with, they just kind of send me a report and I'm able to check things out, and that's just kind of how it goes from there.
All right. Well, Anthony, and I really appreciate you coming on tonight. I really appreciate you pushing through an hour of just trying to go live to do this show. So thank you for coming on JG's Lounge today with us.
Again, I thank you for the opportunity. Thank you
Mm.
for having me on. And yeah, the little tech problems, that's nothing. I think we're all used to it. So
Yeah,
we're
yeah.
film director. So
If it ain't the tech side of it, it's the Wi-Fi side of it, and if it ain't the Wi-Fi side of it, it's the me side of it. So,
yeah, that part.
all right, Anthony, you have a wonderful evening. I will put anything in the description that you want me to put in there, any links, just send them my way. I will send you links to everything once it's finalized and distributed. All right.
Awesome. I appreciate that. Once again,
Yeah,
thank you so much for having me on here. Okay.
of course, and I'm sure we'll be in touch, and you're welcome to come on again sometime.
Cool. I appreciate it. Thank
All
you.
right. You're welcome. You have a good evening.
You do the same. Have a good night.
Good night.